Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel English and Beyond. I'm CJ Roy and in today's class we will learn when and why we should use past continuous tense. So let me give you a few examples and with explanations I'm sure you will understand why and when we should be using past continuous tense. And so without wasting any time, let's get started with today's lesson. Well, past continuous tense is used to describe an action that was happening at a specific time in the past. This is the most common use. Anything, an action that was going on sometime in the past. To refer to that action, to describe that action, we use past. A few examples here. I was reading a novel at 8 p.m. yesterday. So yesterday it was. So at 8 p.m. I was doing something. Something was going on, my reading. Next, she was cooking dinner when I arrived. I arrived there, I reached there, simple past. When I reached there, something was going on. What was going on? She was cooking. Next, they were watching a movie at noon. So at noon, something was going on. That was watching the movie. So they were watching. The students were writing their exams at that time. At that particular time in the past, what were the students doing? They were writing their exams. So that was going on. And next one, he was driving to work when it started raining. So sometime in the past, it started rain. And that time, what was happening there? He was driving. He was driving to work. We were discussing the project during the meeting. There was a meeting, and during the meeting, in the meeting, so a discussion was going on. What was the discussion? We were discussing some points about the project in the meeting. So we also use past continuous to describe two actions happening at the same time in the past. At the same time in the past, two actions were happening. For example, I was listening to music while she was studying. So two actions were going on at a particular time. I was listening to music and she was studying her lessons. Next, they were playing football while we were watching TV. Two actions, watching TV and playing football, going on at the same time in the past. Next, she was cooking while her brother was setting the table. So they worked in cooperation, I believe. So she was cooking, an action was going on, action of cooking, and then the table was being set. So the brother was setting the table at the same time. The teacher was explaining the lesson while the students were taking notes. So now I am explaining and you are taking notes. Imagine. But yesterday I was explaining and you were taking notes. The kids were jumping on the bed while their mother was shouting at them. So two actions, mothers shouting and kids jumping on the bed. They were going on in the past. My parents were discussing our vacation plans while I was packing my bags. So on one side, a discussion was going on about vacation. On the other side, my bag was being packed. So two actions happening. So whenever we have to describe two actions happening at the same time in the past, we use past continuous tense. Next, to describe an action that was interrupted by another action in the past. Okay, so one was going on and that was interrupted or stopped, we can say, by another happening, another action or another event. For example, I was sleeping when the phone rang. When the phone rang, something was happening. What was happening? My sleeping. So I was sleeping and the phone rang. So the phone rang is the phone, it rang, ring, rang, rung. So it is simple past tense. So double past. We will later, I will explain to you how to use this double past. In one place you have at the previous slide we saw two actions going on at the same time, and here in this we are learning one continuous past continuous, other one simple past. So later when we learn other pieces of grammar, I will explain this usage again, but right now we are learning tenses. We are only uh, trying to understand why and when we should be using past continuous. That's the reason. Next is, he was driving when he saw an accident. Just saw an accident. That time, what was he doing? He was driving. An action was going on. She was talking on the phone when the call dropped. Suddenly dropped the call. That time she was talking. Very bad. Next, we were playing outside when it started raining. It started. Simple past. What? Rain started. Okay. What was happening that time? We were playing. Continuous action. Baby was crying when the power went out. The baby was crying. And next, last one, they were walking in the park when they met an old friend. So they were walking, and action was going on, and it was interrupted by that friend. Okay, so this is also to describe an action that was actually interrupted or just put a break on that action by another action in the past. Next, to describe repeated past actions, often with always. We did this in the present continuous tense as well. Something which is always happening in the present. Now, the only thing, there is a shift in time. Present continuous, we learned about the happenings in the present, but past continuous, see these certain this kind of actions used to happen, used to take place in the past. For example, he was always losing his keys. Probably these days he is not losing. In the past, that was his habit, repeated past action. She was always complaining about the food. Same examples here. They were always fighting over silly things. My grandmother was always telling us interesting stories. He was always forgetting to bring his homework. And the neighbors were always arguing at night. So, what did we see here? Past continuous tense we use to describe repeated past actions in the past. And often we use this word always. So that is a special way of expressing our complaint or irritation we saw in the last here. But here, we use often to describe about something that used to happen in the past. Now let's end today's this lesson with a few exercises here. Let's work it out together and see whether you are able to get all of them correct. So here we have she a novel when I called her. So this is past continuous tense we are going to do here. So bracket the verb I have given is read. So how it will be in the past continuous tense? This is what we have to see. So it will be she, after she, the verb is always was in the past. So she was, then read plus ing, reading. So she was reading a novel when I called her. Next is dash, they, dash TV when you arrived. It's a question. So subject is they here, they. So in the past continuous, the auxiliary verb with they is where, right? Where, past continuous tense. So were they? Then main verb is watch. It should be ing form, watching. Were they watching TV when you arrived? Very good. Next one, he dash his homework when his friends came over. I haven't given anything, any particular verb there, but let's just see what it is. So he wasn't, or else he was not doing his work when his friends came over. So this was the verb not do here actually. Okay, so he wasn't doing his homework. He was not doing. Next one, um, I dash a shower when the doorbell rang. I dash. Past continuous. So after I, it's always was. Take is the verb. And what form? Ing form. So I was taking a shower when the doorbell rang. Next one, they dash to music while studying. They. Past continuous. So after they were. Then listen. It will be listening. So they were listening to music while studying. Next is a question. dash you dash for the test last night. So you, after you, the past continuous, the auxiliary verb is were. So were you preparing? Were you preparing for the test last night? Next is he dashed to school when it started raining. Walk. He, third person singular. So it should be he was. He was walking to school. And my brother, play is the verb. It's a statement. My brother is he, third person singular, he. So after he, which auxiliary verb in the past tense? Was. So my brother was playing. Play with ing. My brother was playing games instead of working. Not a good idea. Well, I'm sure that now you know when we normally use. Let me just explain in short. All these things we learned, sometimes you are a bit confused. Doesn't matter. Just remember, past continuous tense is generally used to speak about some actions that were happening in the past for a period of time. It was going on, it was happening. All for today's class, and we have completed past continuous, and today we learned about their uses, past continuous uses. I'm sure this was very useful, very helpful lesson for you, and if you found it helpful, please like, share and subscribe to our channel English and Beyond. Until we meet again in the next video, keep learning, keep practicing, keep growing with English and Beyond. Till we meet again, it's goodbye from me. Take care.